guys, it's Ronnie. Wonder what I've been at? I've been busy. It's like 9 o'clock Sunday. Here's the Kia Racer. I had 100 and including oil and everything for flushing draining the transmission and everything, and doing the water pump. $140 in parts. But I'm working on getting a transmission. It's a transmission, but it's a transaxle out. I got the front end of the motor done. Is my light on? I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got the front of the motor done last weekend, 14 hours. Drop the motor mounts, pull, get all that stuff out of the way. The 1.5 years of water pump gates junk came out, and you got everything else to do that. So while I had it apart, it's a dual overcam engine. Pulled everything apart, put new belts, dry belts, bought all those too. That's all included in the parts list. Took all this out, supported, and work in this tight of a space down in here, as you can see, and from under here and up there, and did the whole front half of the engine, camshaft seals, water pump, another new timing belt. The water pump, original water pump, lasted 400,000 miles. Well, 400, let's see. The original Kia water pump lasted 450,000 miles plus, and the replacement gates, uber expensive, lasted about 15,000 miles, and it went poofy, okay? But while it was all apart, I had to tear all this stuff out down here to get to work on it. Another new timing belt while I got it apart, API water pump instead of a gate. Camshaft seals, do-over cam, and then I pulled everything off the crank down. You got to pull that stuff off anyway, under here, and had all that off. So then I replaced the crankshaft seal in the front because I have the major oil leak from the crankshaft seal in the rear, and this is a transmission, and this is what you got to do. This is half the car gutted already. But I got that all done in about 14 hours, all right? Because I've done it 3 or 4 times on this car as regular maintenance. You got to change the timing belt and stuff, so I know what I'm getting into, and I had an idea. Yeah, and I got the tools I needed after it took me a long time, and I don't have a little tiny hand Chinese lady to get down here to get these bolts to hold them while, and start them for me. So I got tools I need for that. I got that done last weekend. I said the rear main oil seal in between the engine and this transaxle is pouring out a 1/2 quart of oil every 40 miles, making a mess. So I said, okay, I got enough parts. This thing, I know it doesn't burn any oil. The motor doesn't burn any oil. I know everything about this vehicle. Everything is solid. It looks just beautiful, don't it? Good old hard country miles. This is a 98 Kia Sophia. Everything under it is solid. The body's resting. It's beat, but the motor doesn't take any oil. The motor is perfect. Yet I checked it all out when the other timing belt broke. Don't ever buy a Conitec timing belt or a Gates frickin' water pump. But I got a Goodyear timing belt this time. Okay, but the Gates one was okay, but the water pump sucked. It leaked right, not even 20,000 miles. But now here's what I have to do. I'm in the process of doing, and I had enough. Estimate was 30 hours to pull a transaxle and just put it back in. They're not lying. I don't have, and that's with a car lift and stuff. And I've never done a frickin' front transaxle, and then I got an oddball I'll tell you about here. If you're interested, if you don't, you can turn it off. That's the transaxle, bolts to the motor right there. There's a big giant support bar where those ears goes back to there. I took out. so I could get to, while I'm doing I have to pull this whole transmission, which has CV shafts. Oh, you like my light down there? I'm going to tell you about that. See the CV shafts, all this has to come pull out, take the CV shafts out so the axle can come down. There's a motor out there. There's one back under there yet. Get to the starter back under here. The exhaust had to come off. Yeah, I got lucky. Here's the front part of the exhaust. And just because, and it runs all the way back and it's in the way. And when you're out of room, I'm going to show you something. If you're, because I'm going to have to get the Lincoln in here by the middle of the week because it's going to be really cold and this stuff's going to get moved back and it'll fit. But you're out of room, just like when I worked on combines and giant stuff and you had to take 3/4 of it, they take a lot of room. What do you do when you don't have room for all the parts you're taking off? Put them under the vehicle. You see that? And then, if it's like mine, it don't matter. You take like the air box and all that stuff and put it inside the car. Ew, I got storage space. I don't have a car lift, if you can see. I got it on heavy duty floor jack stands, plus I got safety ones. I got an extra set if something does go bang. Oh, that light. You like that light? Does that look familiar? Like that one right there, right? Oh, look out for my jack. That is an outdoor. I got them inside, but I have them. That's what lights up my deck at night and my whole yard out back too and out front. A flat panel, 50-watt LED. And they get pretty warm. You got to be careful. But yeah, I spent Friday making one of these. I had an old extension cord laying around the trunk, and I needed better light. So that's my lighting, and I mounted a magnet to it instead of where it bolts to the wall. I got like a magnet that big, bolted through the hole. Yeah, I got like 2 hours making this light, but wow, I can see what I'm doing now. You know, and the light was $14, and magnet was $4. Chunk of cord I had laying around, it cost me $3 for the connector. You ain't gonna buy a shop light, a magnet shop light to work on vehicles for under $80 right now if you could find them. And boy, do I got lumens. But yeah, there you go. I had to do that first. All right, where was I? This transmission is coming down. I have to use, why are the boards here? I gotta run these boards across to hold up the engine right here. I'll put blocks on top of the strut towers are solid, and then run a chain around, or probably a triple strap that I can move up and down. Has to get hooked to here to hold the weight when I do pull that mount and that mount out and hold the engine up, because there's nothing holding it up once you unbolt it. So I have to have that hanging and have that, and then I gotta make a special. That's what the chunk of wood is for, to make a special area. Once I cut the size of the transmission, and these ears right here stick up, I'm gonna cut the board, measure underneath the transmission where it's about flat, and then I'm gonna cut a chunk of that 3/4 plywood, and then I'm gonna lay it on top and smack it with a hammer so it indents it, and then I'm gonna drill holes with a wood bore and just a spade bit, wherever those notches are, so that wood doesn't just sit on top, it drops down into the groove so it can't slide, because once you take the bolts out, you have to move it and scoot it. I've never done a transaxle before. I can do pickup 4-wheel drives, pull transmissions, transfer cages, the whole works in a day. I already gotten all this. I got about 15 hours in it already. But I did, while I have it hanging here, I have all new seals just to get to the rear main seal on the engine. There's only one down here that's leaking all over. Transmission is seeping a little out of where those CV shafts are, the drive shafts, right? Here. Right in here where it goes in the transaxle. I gotta pull all this apart to get them out. Then I have to make, this is an oddball transmission, where if you pull the CV shafts out and then you bang the transaxle around a little bit, the side gears can fall down. So once you pull the shaft out inside that drives the wheel, you gotta put and I can't find a specialty part. Kia makes them. There's a part number and can't find them. So I'm gonna make them out of this. Chunk of wood, cut it off about that long. Take electrical tape, wrap around the size of the shaft that goes in, slide it in. So that it's called the outer differential gear can drop. Some other transaxles are the same way. You gotta, once you take that off, you're gonna bang it around. I'm supposed to make it fit tight, otherwise that VIG gear can fall. Then you gotta tear the whole transaxle apart to try to realign it. So, yeah, okay. But yeah, chunk of wood. Just make, basically, if you've ever done a clutch, make your own pilot tool with a chunk of wood and wrap it with electrical tape, like I did with a drumstick to fix my brother's Camaro back in the mid-'80s. Wonder why they fuck him and his buddy put a clutch in his wife's Camaro, and it was the second time never had no pilot tool to line the clutch. Well, this is automatic, but yeah, it's gonna be a bite. But yeah, this is 15 hours right here to get all this apart. But while it was out and I had area, and I don't want to really move it and bang it around a whole lot, except replace the front seal in the pump and bushing in the front, and then the two end bushings where the CV shafts come out. I got seals for all that, but I don't want to bang it around much. So while I had it up now, I don't want to be flipping it over and messing around just in case, because I don't know how to do differential side gears in a transaxle. And I can't find a book on this transmission. It's like a B something 82. Can't even find anything on it, even from all data. So, well, I had it up in the air and all the electrical stuff is off and all the air box and all the batteries and everything else is all torn out and cross members. And yeah, I changed dropped the transmission fluid under here. Look how clean that part is. Dropped the transmission fluid, took the pan off, put a new filter and gasket in, and then when I pulled apart, the torque converter will come with it, and then I will drain the torque converter and refill that with new, and drain it out and fill it with new oil, because it's got 300,000 on it. It wasn't burnt yet. Transmission's working okay. But yeah, I'm sore as hell. This is old school. I don't have an automobile lift. If I had an automobile lift, it'd be a lot easier. But there's what I use. My creeper, I got to do from the top, jack it up. Now I'm doing everything from underneath. And this is going to come out. I said I got to take those boards, bunch them together, lay them across here, chain it so the motor don't fall. Get all the bolts out down in here. Yet. And take that mount off to get a transmission bolt out. I got to take both of these mounts off that are in here. This one I think I'm going to have to take off too to get clearance, unless I can angle it. And I don't, yeah, there ain't really any directions how to do it. You just poke and hope and go for it. And I did label all the connectors and electronics and stuff for it. But yeah, I got about 18 hours so far. And maybe by next weekend, I might have it back together. It's really difficult to get to the bolts. Not so much to separate the transmission from the engine, but to get to the bolts that hold the torque converter to the flex plate, the drive plate. Most of them, vehicles have a hole like yay big and an excess cover. This has got a hole about that big. You got it. Ooh, it's going to be fun. But yeah, I only got one cut and got hurt, but I am so sore from crawling underneath and up and down and rolling around. That's why I quit mechanicking on the big trucks, because this is hard on me. I'm probably wore out at 9 o'clock. But yeah, I got lucky. I got part of the exhaust off. 470,000 miles and all dirt and gravel roads. You would not believe all the cleaning and scraping and junk, and just to clean the oil pan and stuff under here off to get the bolts out. And I had 2 hours in just cleaning before I even scraping, because I ain't going to use a power washer. I don't have one anyway here. I did power wash it beforehand as good as I could do at the car wash up on car ramps. But yeah, a lot of time, but I'm going to do it right, just like my boat. I move along because I've never done it before, just like building that longtail. I've never done it before. And I have no clue, so I'm just working my way through it. And the car ain't worth $350, $400, including with the tires, but it's worth over $3,000 to me because I know it's still gonna run. I know what's in it. It ain't pretty, but it does what I need it to do. And you go try to buy a used piece of junk that's falling apart. The frame, everything is fine. It's just all rusted out underneath. Everything is solid. Yeah, I get this all done. It's got 470,000 miles on it, unless something really strange happens or it gets hit again. This car's been totaled 3 times already. None to my fault or my former Chinese wife's fault. And that makes it a little difficult because it got hit so hard I used a tractor in a tree and stuff to pull a unibody back in line. And the tape measure, stuff don't quite fit the way it is from the factory. You notice in all the manuals and on TV, on YouTube, they show, everything's spotless, even with 190,000, never been on a dirt road, never been out in gravel. Ooh. Yeah, and check that out. That's after cleaning a bunch. But yeah, I'm getting after it. Oh, and then my smoke went out. But yeah, that's cool. Take one of those $14 lights. I got it shrink wrapped. I soldered the lines, the wires and shit. They don't pull much, but it's 50 watt. Boy, she lights up at night. Buy a plug, make your own. Something like that with a magnet mount equivalent is about $65 to $85. And I got $20, but I got an hour and a half into doing all this stuff to make it happen. But yeah, it's one of those. Exact same thing that I have outside. They're outside. S96 or whatever, waterproof. But you don't want to put spray brake cleaner on the lenses because they're a lifespan and that'll mess them up just like your car. Do not ever get brake parts cleaner on your headlight lenses or you're going to be in a world of hurt because it will just mess them up and streak them and you ain't going to bump them out. But yeah, that's pretty neat, yeah? And I said double safety. All this has to get pulled off. These got to get swung out of the way. Shafts come out. I said I got to make my own stub shafts to put in so the gears don't fall out of the way in that transaxle. But hopefully, I said I'm taking my time because there ain't nothing. You just got to start looking and digging, and it gives you kind of an order what to do. But yeah, I said, and then hang the whole motor from here across here. So I want to make sure I'm doing it right, but I'm hurting like a unit. I'm sore as hell anyway. Still from throwing them chains and stuff back in midsummer toward the middle of fall. At work, kind of wrenched my elbow and my shoulder real bad. So yeah, I'm getting hurt and I stop. And if you had an automobile lift where it was like yay high, that'll work. Yeah, crawling around a creeper ain't no fun. But yeah, I got a new filter in the transmission ready. Pull that, drain the fluid out. So when it comes out, then when I put it all back together, just to get to that main seal, that's $9.85. I did 30 hours to pull the transaxle just to replace a $9 seal. Oh, welcome to John Deere and the way ag companies work. And that's why I'm doing it myself. But yeah, there you go. You wonder what I've been doing? Ain't made no videos. Oh yeah, and it was 32 degrees Friday, 34, and they said it was going to be 48 to 52. It was 28 Friday, 32 Saturday. It got up to 41 today, Sunday. Now tomorrow it's going to be like 69. And then Tuesday, 72. So I had to spend 6 hours clearing everything away from my wood burner. So I have heat. Yeah, what's it in here now? I'm getting 67. Cool breeze. Yeah, that's still 5-speed out of that Ranger, and I'm going to put an automatic in that. But yeah, there's all the tricks, but that's what I've been doing. I have pulled these apart and pulled the shafts out before, and the real trick is getting the transmission out, getting all the bolts in the flywheel, the flex plate bolts first, and then once it's all out, I said I'll replace the seal where this shaft right here goes in, there's one on the other side, and then there's two seals where the shaft goes in, torque converter goes in. I got all those. I said, only $125 a parts for front and all this. But you add all together, it's like 70 hours. $7,000 at $100 an hour. There ain't no shop in town's going to work on nothing for under $100 an hour right now. But I know what I got. I can't get the Ranger going, and I ain't going to go buy no other junk. And Mama's Intrepid, I forgot it had, I couldn't find anything on my scanner and stuff that I do have. It's a pretty good scanner. It was like a $900 scanner 10 years ago. Ain't getting nothing about firing or nothing. Somebody put aftermarket. They put aftermarket. Well, the family paid to have my mama have remote start. I think it's in a remote start. I think it's in a remote start is not putting any electricity to nothing when you turn the key, and I have no idea what brand, and so that Intrepid is going pushed off until next spring or whatever. I know what I got here. It runs. I said I drove it to the car wash. I just got to fix all the oil leaks and make sure she's ready to go for another. I'm going to make over 500,000 miles with this thing. No problem. All right, but yeah, that's how you do it. You like my hood prop? It said take the hood off. Why? Yeah, I need a cross member to hold the engine. There you go. 3 2x4s and a chain up on blocks higher so you can lower it up and down. I said I'm learning on this, and I've never done a front-wheel drive transaxle. Ford pick any vehicle with a rear-wheel drive and stuff with a radiator transmission. I would have been done by now. But yeah, it's quite the ordeal. This Kia is going to be worth $5,000 when I get all this done. Whew. If I had to pay for the labor. But yeah, it'll be rolling. I'll show you when I get her going again. I just hope the transmission has been working fine. I know the motor's going to run a long time yet. Transmission never really acted up at all. Hopefully it makes it over 500,000 miles. If something weird would explode or grenade in the transmission in 2,000 miles, I'd be pretty pissed. But I got my 2,000 miles out of it. But I want to at least get my $100 an hour out of it. $100 an hour is 3,000. 30 hours, I want to get at least 3,000 miles out of it when I put it back together. That's the way I look at it. All right, man. Peace. Love. Have a heart. Have a heart. You know, you got to look at your economical situation. Why not do it? Man, I am kind of sore and hurting. I said there ain't no way I was going to get it done in 2 days. So we're going to go in. Maybe I can get these torn apart tomorrow after work, depending how long I work. If it's sun's still kind of shining in the shop, because it takes an hour and a half when you fire up the wood burner to warm up everything. My hands don't work below 50, so I'm done there. But I know how to get those out, and then I can maybe make my new holding tools out of a dowel and stuff in where the shaft goes and make them fit, and then maybe get that part made. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, there you go. A learning experience. Do what I've never done before. Just like straightening a John boat, building that trailer, and building my whole freaking longtail setup. It come out right. Just take my time, don't get in a hurry. Because there ain't no information on it. And, yeah, label everything. Yeah, we'll get her done. All right, man, I love you. Take care. I said this is going to be the one and only 500,000 mile Kia Sophia that I know of anywhere. If it all goes well. I said, this car, if I had to take it to a shop, you'd just scrap it. But no, I do my own work. I said, you're not going to find anybody that'll open their door to even put a scanner on something for under $100 an hour. I'll have, if everything goes correct, I'll have 40, 850, maybe 60 hours in it. $100 an hour is $6,000, but look at my little boat. I have over 280 hours in that. If I paid somebody to do all that, $100 an hour, that's $28,000 for that little John boat. Depends on how you look at things. But yeah, I don't get deterred. Worst can happen. Something blow up and it won't work, and then I'm sitting with something that I wasn't going to drive much longer anyway, unless I can get it sealed and stuff in. So there you go. Take care. I love y'all. Don't listen to naysayers and do your own situation. Everybody's life and their situation is different. And why are you working on that for, Bubba? Because it's the most efficient way and I know what I got. Okay? There you go. Love y'all. You know what I mean. Take care. Just keep plugging away. Don't let nothing get to you. And just do what you do. But yeah, that light's pretty cool. I can use those. I got 2 more of them. Alright, man. I'm going to go in and shave and shower and find some Lunchables and go to bed. I got to work tomorrow, but that's what I got going on. Hopefully, by the end of next weekend, it'll be apart. Put in that $9 seal for all that. But I can't complain. Usually main seals and vehicles go out at about 150 or 100,000 to 200. This made it 470,000. I can't complain. Yeah, hopefully I have it on the road by next Sunday evening with no oil leaks and everything out and back in. We'll see. If it don't, then that's the way it is. And we'll find out. Love you. Take care. Be you. I will be back if God's and the angels let me. I promise. Ciao.